Hi everyone, welcome to ITPK. In today's video, we will learn how we can set up or change setting or deploy any setting for Windows Firewall using Windows Server. So we will use Windows Server group policy to change or update settings of Windows Server firewalls. This policy could apply to the computers changed to the Windows Server domain. Or if you want to change this setting individually, you can go to a computer and you can perform these steps, or you can update or change Windows Server firewall settings. As you are using Windows Server group policy today, so we will see the step on how to change or update the Windows Server firewall settings on the domain computers. By using a domain environment on Windows Server, we can centrally manage Windows Server firewall policies. Managing firewall via group policy could be an ideal option of managing firewall for all of the computers or some of the computers in small organizations. With a GPO firewall management, we can define a rule ourselves, or we can export the rule from reference computers. In this video, we will manually create a firewall rule. So to begin with the configuration, let's open group policy first, and also we will need to open the Active Directory users and computer, as we don't want to interrupt any other users and computers with our setting now. So first we will create an organizational unit. Name as Windows Firewall. I'm going to uncheck this. I don't want to protect this OU. So let hit OK. Now I will point my Windows Firewall policy to this specific organizational unit so that I can do a test on a single user first, and after that I can deploy this setting to all other required users or computers. In today's example, we will see how to allow pings for Echo's ICMP packet. Like when we want to ping to any computer from command prompt, that would get a block or that would get a reply from that specific computers. So for your understanding, we will try to block, or we will set up blocking and allowing of ICMP packets from Windows Firewall for a specific computers. Here we have already opened Windows Server Group Policy, if you remember, and let's go to Group Policy Object, and here we want to create new group policy and we want to name it Windows Firewall Test Policy. Okay, let's click on OK, and the policy is created. Let's go to the specific policy, Windows Firewall Test Policy, and go to Edit. Okay, once we click on the editing this policy in the computer configuration, click on the policies and then expand the Windows setting. Now, as Windows Firewall is related to security settings, let's expand security settings. Once you expand the security settings, you will find Windows Firewall with advanced security. Let's click on that, expand that. Now click on Windows Server Firewalls with advanced security. We have expanded the second option as well, and we got inbound rules, all outbound rules, and connection security rules here. Let's first click on the Windows Firewall with advanced security and go to property. Here, the first option, we want that the firewall should be turned on, right? in the domain profile or in the private profile, also in the public profile. We don't want our firewall to be turned off at any time. So let's turn it on. Okay, apply and okay. We didn't assign this group policy object to any of the computer, GPO, or the group yet. So we are just setting up this according to our requirement first. Now let's see how to create a Windows Firewall rule on Windows Server to deploy on domain computers. So let's create an inbound rule to allow inbound traffic. Let's go to inbound and go to new rule. For example, we want to allow ICMP packets or the ping request from Windows Server firewall with an advanced security. So in the firewall widget that is started to create an inbound rule, click on the custom button and hit next. Okay, here again click next. In the next option, protocol we want here is ICMP v4 to allow ping request. Click on the customize section, and in customize section you can see we can allow specific echo request, right? The ping request. But here I want to select all ICMP types should be allowed. So let me uncheck this. Okay. And I want to allow all ICMP types of requests here. Click OK. Now let's hit next. So here we have the option of uh, setting up the IP address, that which local IP address does this rule apply to. So you can select any for all of the IP address, or you can define IP addresses here, right? And in which remote IP address does this rule apply to? So let's go to this IP address and we want to add a custom IP address here. I have for one of computer I have tried to ping. Let's copy that and add it here. So here I just got pick up the IP of the computer. Here the subnet is 10.1/31. So any IP address from this range will be allowed to do a ping, right, or do an ICMP packet ping within the network. So let's hit OK, and we have allowed this IP address. That's perfect. Please note that you can define any other group policy as per your requirements, or you can set up this firewall ICMP ping policy, which I am showing here. This video is for your understanding only. So let's go to next. Okay, in this option, make sure you have selected allow the connection. Click next. When does this rule apply? Do you want it for domain, private, or a public? So I am unchecking public here, right? In the public network, I don't want this happen to get ping ICMP packets to our local subnets or computers. So I don't want this. Let it next. Name it a meaningful name. Allow ICMP local network. Okay, hit finish. We have created a Windows Firewall test policy here, right? If you remember, we have earlier created a group policy object, right? We have created a group policy object here, test Windows Firewall, and we can assign this policy to test Windows Firewall, and then later on we can start moving computers to this specific organizational unit that named test Windows Firewall, and we can do a test for on our single computer first and then move to other computer that are required to set up this policy. So never deploy policy directly on your production environment. So now, as we are already working on the GPO, let's go to this specific GPO again and see how we can create a Windows Firewall inbound rule, right, from our Windows server. So let's go back to security setting again, and here we found Windows Firewall with advanced security, and then again to Windows Firewall with an advanced security. So again, click on the inbound rule, go to new rule, check the custom radio button and click next. In the protocol type, to restrict the rule to specified port number, you must select TCP or UDP or for setting up restriction rule. In this example, we will select a TCP protocol type, and under TCP protocol type, we are seeing a number 6 protocol number because this is an incoming rule and we typically configure local ports. From local port, you can select any specific port here, and just for your understanding, I am defining 7891 port here in the specific local ports. This port number is just for an example or just for your understanding. You can set up your required port number to allow from Windows Server firewalls according to your needs. Now click next. Uh, in the remote setting, which remote IP address does this rule apply to any IP address or this IP address? So in this example, I am going to type only a single IP address, not the whole subnet. Uh, Let me copy this and paste it here. Okay, hit OK. Then hit next. Make sure you have selected allow the connection. Again, next. I want to uncheck this public profile here, right? And I want to keep this domain and private profile check here, right? I don't want to define this rule for um, public network. So let's name it allow custom port for custom port set at 91 for the IP address we have uh, set up in the previous option. So I wanna make this name understandable and a description with an IP is more understandable here. So let's click on finish. Now let's go to setting of Windows Firewall test policy where we have defined two rules for our Windows Server firewalls. So you can also check the rules you have defined for your Windows Server firewall by going to group policy in the policies, Windows setting, and let's quickly go to security setting and Windows Firewall with an advanced security here, and then we have defined inbound rules for allowing ping first, and the second inbound rule we have defined is allow custom port 7 at 91 to the computer that we have defined IP address. And these both group policies are mapped to test Windows Firewall Policy Organizational Unit. So these rules are under inbound rules. By default, Windows Firewall allows all outbound traffic until it matches the rule that prohibited the network traffic. This type of rule blocks any type of outbound traffic that matches the port number, either it's TCP or UDP. Using the same steps, you can define an outbound rule as per your requirements. Let's say we want to prevent user from an admin privileges so that they will not be able to stop or start Windows Firewall service. So for this purpose, it is recommended that to set up automatic startup of Windows Firewall service using group policy. So Windows Firewall will be automatically started when the group policy is applied. So in the same uh, policies, right, find out system services in the Windows system services. Try to find Windows uh, firewall here. Open that service Windows firewall. Define this policy, and we want to set up. Select service startup mode. Let's set up it to automatic so that if someone else try to stop it, the firewall gets started automatically. Okay, here the important thing I wanna update you about that you can edit the security permissions here, right? You can like add users here, any group here, and you can set to deny permissions. For example, let's say we wanna add everyone here and we wanna deny everything for everyone here and we wanna apply this, right? This is just for your understanding. So you can add or remove anybody here and apply your required permissions for them. So we have deployed some settings here, right? For our Windows Firewall security, we have defined inbound rules, and we have also set up a Windows Firewall startup as an automatic. And I've also explained you how to link this policy that we have set up for Windows Firewall to the specific group test Windows Firewall organizational unit, and you could move users or computers to test Windows Firewall organizational unit to test these policies. Once these Windows Firewall policies will be deployed, once you run a group policy update here, GP, GPUPDA group policy update here, and you will also have to run on the computer where you want to apply this Windows Firewall policies, and then you will find out that on their specific computer on which Windows Firewall policies are deployed, user will not be able to manage Windows Firewall on those computer, and uh, ICMP local network pings will be allowed, this custom port will be allowed, and the firewall will get automatically start up, right? And once you will restart the computer, that computer will pick up these rules into Windows Firewall rules, right? And that's it about today's tutorial for Windows Firewall. And this was just for testing purpose and for your explanation so that you will understand how to deploy group policy for Windows Firewall in the domain environment. So I will repeat that. Make sure you are testing on the testing environment first or a separate OU or a group that have only one test computer or a user. Never test anything on production environment. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Keep supporting. Take care. Bye.